Okay, so this is the hotel I stayed in last night. Well, not exactly that one, but this is the area. This is the actual hotel. I'm guessing it's being refurbished, I hope. But looks a bit kind of, well, what can we say? Work in progress. So yeah, so this is what this area is like. I did take a walk around last night. I actually went to a local supermarket. I mean, you can see down the bottom as well. There's no real difference. I mean, everything here is, let's say, work in progress, needs doing up. So yeah, I went to a local supermarket, and anyone who used to be in the UK a little while ago, we recognised this shop, Netto. It's kind of a shop that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, it's a bit bit different. It's kind of a shop that doesn't exist anymore, but you know, they do in this part of the world, which is really nice. I'm guessing this was probably alright at one point. There's a huge mast on the roof. So I'm guessing that's how they kind of make their money, really, to stay open, is telecoms. And there's the bike. It's still here, one piece, so it's not that bad an area, really, so that's good. So I'm just going to uncover it and then going to head down for a 5 or a 6 hour ride to Warsaw. Have a look around Warsaw, get some sleep, find somewhere else, hopefully a little different to this place. And it was like a bit of a mad video game ride last night. It was just, I wondered where I was going. I was following the GPS and sat nav, and kind of took me to this place. But there you go. So it was nice inside. It was clean, tidy. You know, that's all you really want. Communal showers kind of thing, toilets, all that sort of thing. But yeah, enjoyed it. I had good sleep. I mean, I slept, maybe because I hadn't slept in over 26 hours from leaving home to getting here. But yeah, so let's head off to Warsaw. Okay, so I was just trying to get out of this place. Basically, it's a bit weird, just following the road, and you know, other than the kind of random backlots and really odd kind of, well, to me anyway, set up with the place. You got some really nice houses, with kind of interspersed with things that are being left to rot or pulled down or demolished, or, you know, I don't know. But, anyway, yeah, following this road, I want to get through town, and it just ends. It literally just ends, which is, quite frankly, yeah, nuts. But there you go. This is what it's all about. Okay, so now I've got to find a different route round, or just do a little bit of ad hoc off-roading, really, just to get across here. But yeah, so there you go. This is about as nuts as it was last night. So I was riding along and I saw this statue from a distance. I've done some bits on my phone, so I'll include it in here and also on the drone. But wow, I mean, what a surprise from the road. And that was from the motorway. You could see this from miles and miles away. So here's some drone footage, and I'll put on the screen where we are. So this is where we are. It's in a bit of an industrial estate park kind of thing down the bottom. Seems to be right in the far distance is a white house, which is really nice. Looks like it's having some work done on it. And it's a very, very pretty place. If I pan round, you can see there are a lot of people here, and it seems to be a bit of a mecca for bikes. There's been quite a few coming in, and there's some kind of hotel thing in the background. And it's really nice little area. It's incredibly nice, but it's just that statue. You can see it from the road. There's a lot here to look at, so I hope you enjoyed this little bit. This is a bit of a surprise. Anyway, I'm on my way down to Warsaw now, so I've got another few hours worth of riding. So if anything else pops up, otherwise I'll see you then. Right, so 150 miles done. Got about 200 left, which isn't too bad. I've been on this bike, well, I've had this bike for quite a few years now, and it's always been fantastic. It's the reason why I use it for these trips rather than my other Triumph. But Honda, you need to take a leaf out of your old pan-European seats from about, the early ST1100s. Because I could sit on mine all day long on the ST, but on these the seats are like planks of wood. They're just so hard, and after about 300 miles or so, you really do know you're sitting on a bike. So Honda, if you can, sort the seats out on these bikes. These bikes are so much better than you would even think. They're so much better than I even thought, because I originally bought it as a commuter bike, as a kind of second bike, but it's turned out to be a cracking tool. Right, okay, so I've just had a bit of a 5-minute break. I'm only 72 miles from Warsaw, but I've had to have a little bit of a rejig on the bike. Basically, this was starting to pull on my shoulders a lot. There's quite a lot of weight in it, so I've strapped everything else to the top box. You know, it kind of works. It kind of does what it needs to do. But the biggest reason why I stopped is because of this. This road here. It's looks alright, but if you look at the trees in the background, it's incredibly windy. I mean, it's taken a lot of effort just to keep the bike in a straight line. So that's why I've stopped for 5 minutes. I'm about an hour and 10 minutes away from Warsaw, so the next plan, as you can see it here, is to just head back down towards Warsaw. So if you're ever on this kind of road, I mean, the services are really nice actually. They're all very similar in Poland. They're all roughly set out the same way. There's only a couple of major sort of brand people. And I'm just having a look at this. Yep, E77S7, which is what this road is. So yeah, if you're ever heading this way, be very careful of this road. I often wondered why there were so many windbreaks on the road itself, and that's the reason why. You'll see them built up all along this road for miles and miles on end. Anyway, next stop, Warsaw. Should be there in about an hour-ish. So here I'm in Warsaw city centre, just going to grab a bite to eat. 350 of the worst miles down that can't remember the name of the road now. 350 miles of absolute torture. It was literally non-stop fighting the wind, and it was a bit crazy really, simply because it was a bit much basically leaning on the bike as if you were going around corners for 350 miles, just to give you an idea of how big the contact patch was on the bike, just to keep it straight, even though it was a straight road. I don't know if you can see that the right up to here and here, literally keeping the bike on the road, keeping it straight. It was that windy. So just gonna have a bite to eat. This is inside of one of the main shopping centre in Warsaw. It's kind of like every other shopping centre. It's quite busy. It's got everything that you could really want. It's a number of floors, and you could probably see there's a McDonald's over there as well, TK Maxx over here, and all the usual kind of suspects. This one's quite big. It's not really anything exceptional about it. They're all built roughly on the same kind of thing, but it's quite nice. It's about 5 levels, quite big, and they've got some of their homegrown kind of outlets as well, which you'd expect. But yeah, I'm going to go and grab myself a bite to eat because it's been a long day, a long ride. Oh, it's been a bit of a crazy day, really. I went from what would be North Poland all the way down to about 60 miles south of Warsaw. So I popped into Warsaw first. Warsaw was all right, but it's a little bit, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of the States in the same way that the States were about sort of 30 years ago, when I used to kind of, maybe a little bit more, maybe 35, 40 years ago, before they started to kind of modernize everything. And it was still a bit kind of frontierish, and that's what Warsaw kind of felt to me. It's got very similar kind of look to it, with very long boulevards, dead straight roads, and miles on shopping centres, or whatever you want to call them, on either side of the roads as well. And it's very, very similar to the way things were laid out in the States, and still are for in a lot of places. So there's a bit of a drive-by video as I came in through the city. But what did I think of it? Well, the area is it's a bit of a mix and match. You've got really modern kind of shopping centres and things like that, stuck in the middle of semi-industrialised areas. So you've got, workshops, all of that kind of thing, all plastered around the same area. And then scattered in between that, you have residential houses, which is a bit odd. And some of these residential houses are huge. If they were in, I don't know, somewhere like Cambridge or London or the Hampshires, or somewhere kind of rural-ish but next to a big city, or even in a popular big city in England, let's say, you'd be probably looking at £1 million a piece. Wouldn't be unheard of. Probably more for some of them that I saw. So and these were built in the middle of everything, from factories to shopping centres and so on. So it's a little bit odd. But then again, if it was the same, you'd be no real point in travelling anywhere, would there? And as you can see, the traffic's very much calmer than in the first city I went to, which was basically some kind of weird video game kind of pinball run in the dark. It was just very odd, where all the time people were just trying to kind of cut you up, get you off the road and all this kind of thing. So it wasn't pleasant. But in saying that, every road I've been on in this country, people are just nuts in cars, or a lot of people are. It's either flat out or nothing. The motorways, highways, freeways, whatever you want to call them, they're just places to have your foot to the floor. And you see it all the time, which is, very odd, because even in built-up areas like cities where they do have a posted speed limit, literally, no one really adheres to it. Everybody ignores it. So, it's quite odd. Same as traffic lights here. I mean, the amount of people I've seen just run lights and not care about it. It's like it's an everyday thing around here. The other thing, I think it's the E77. That I came down that road and it just literally just ran out today, and it was a very long, what you would call in America interstate highway, or in the UK motorway. And basically it just stopped. They hadn't even finished building it, and it was kind of just unfinished for probably about 14, 15 miles more, probably almost 20 miles of this unfinished road. No road markings, no proper tarmac down at times, no anything. You could tell it was a 3-lane road, but it was just one strip of tarmac where they'd actually tarmacked it, or it was just kind of a gravelly kind of rough surface where they hadn't. But even on the worst parts, they'd put in traffic lights and kind of traffic marshalling systems, if you'd like, but to marshal what? The odd car that was on it. Really, it looked like nobody should have been on this road, but there was traffic on it, but not very much. It was light, but it just kind of ran out, like the same as that little video I did in the previous city, where the road just ended, but at least they were doing something. This was just left as it was for everybody to kind of make their way on it. It's a bit interesting. So, yeah, what did I think of Warsaw? Well, I thought it was all right. I thought it was nice to see, nice to have a look around. The shopping centre was immaculate. It was really, really nice. But the rest of the area around it was kind of a bit rough, basically. There was litter and graffiti everywhere. That's one thing you'll notice is graffiti. Graffiti everywhere in Europe, or most parts of Europe anyway, and that includes Italy, which the Venice and places like that. Everything just gets covered. If it's stood around long enough, it's going to be tagged, and that's not really. I mean, that happens 30 years ago in the UK, and other than the odd kind of idiot that's around now who tags things, and people don't really do it. And it's got to a point where people who do nice graffiti, like Banksy, typical kind of quirky British thing, make put somebody on a pedestal rather, who's technically breaking the law, because it is illegal to graffiti in the UK. We don't see that much graffiti around, especially not miles and miles and miles of it. That's always been the same, but I'd forgotten how much of it was around in, a big chunk of Europe. In fact, I don't think there's a country I haven't gone through that doesn't have a graffiti issue, but most people seem to ignore it. don't know. There's also the what looks like the hangover from what would you call communist Russia, really, because although not so much Poland, but you've got these kind of Russian blocks everywhere that you do have in a lot of other countries. But it seems to be mainly, from what I've seen, Poland, Russia, Ukraine has a lot of these blocks. Think not so much Czech Republic or not so much Slovakia from what I've seen, but I'll find out more tomorrow because I'm going to spend a little while there. But yeah, these kind of old kind of Russian era, as in communist era, blocks where people live, and some of them were kept really nice, like the ones I saw earlier in the, like the ones I've seen earlier in previous cities, especially around Poland. But some of them they just look like what they're like, and they're not particularly great. Well, they're probably nice inside and very well run and all this, but kind of aesthetically, they're not the best. But then again, we had that problem in the UK for a while where blocks of flats were going up, and it was deemed not a very good idea after a while, and a lot of them got pulled down again. So, and also we have a lot of rules about height limits in a lot of cities as well, especially where I live. Anything above sort of 3 stories isn't usually the norm. So yeah, different cities, different rules, different parts of the world and so on. But it's been an interesting couple of days. So I've managed to clock up getting on for 1,800 miles up till now. I've been through, as I said, quite a few countries now, and my next country is Slovakia. And I'm really looking forward to taking some photos, because in Poland, I didn't get a lot of chance to take really good pictures because of the distances between the cities I wanted to visit. But I did do a lot of video, and I'm hoping to be able to continue with the photography and the drones tomorrow. Yeah, because after tomorrow, I'm going to try and head over the border. Now, the border's into the Ukraine, which is why I haven't mentioned it. I just made it as another country in my intro, but the border is into the Ukraine, and I really want to see that part, or a little bit of that part of the world. So whether or not I'm going to be allowed to get through the borders is another thing. If there's a will, there's a way. I'm not saying I'll be able to get in, but I'm going to have a go, because it's only 4 hours away from where I am, so it would be nice to have a look. So yeah, so that's up till now. So I've got Slovakia, and then hopefully, well, not hopefully, but maybe the Ukraine, and then into the Czech Republic. And from the Czech Republic, it's a long slog, and we're talking nearly 800 miles or so back to where I've got to get on the ferry to head for home. So in the next 3 days, 3 days, I'm going to be doing probably another 1,300 miles. So that'll kind of tally up so that'll kind of tally up the mileage for this trip, as well as trying to visit as many countries as I can and interesting spots. So yeah, so I hope you're enjoying it so far, and I'll see you on the flip side when my hair's dried. I've had another shower tonight, because it's been 27, 28 degrees, which I didn't expect. So just going to watch something on my phone and then try and get a few hours sleep and get an early start tomorrow, because I've got a 5-hour ride, maybe a little bit longer, from where I am on kind of this southern Poland, all the way through to Slovakia. So I'll see you later. Okay, so yeah, about 5:30 in the morning, and I didn't show you this room last night. This is where I'm booked. It's called the Villa Like Garden in Wagon, or South Poland, and it's quite nice. You have to forgive my junk. So, nice comfortable bed, little table area, chair, wardrobe. Bathroom, shower, and I thought, okay, this is nice. But when I turned up last night, it was very dark, so I didn't really have much chance to look. So I thought, this morning, let's have a wander around and use the old balcony. So if you have a look through the door, so we have chair, dog's now awake, chair, and then literally fall off the edge of the roof. It's quite funny. Health and safety is not an issue here. So yeah, it's sunrise. Gonna get on the bike, get kitted out, and then head for Slovakia. Okay, so you've seen the back of the place where I was staying. You can see a nice sunrise behind you, and that's the front. So it's quite a nice place. So yeah, just gotta pack the bike up now and head off to Slovakia now. So hopefully in a few hours I'll stop, get cleaned up, and we'll head into Slovakia. So I'll join the busy road outside. It's already getting busy now. So it's just gone 5:30 in the morning. So I'll see you then. So literally 5 minutes down the road while leaving my motel, the one with, the death to us all balcony, I found this place. It's literally just a few minutes away from the hotel. I mean, it's really, really pretty. I will do some bigger pictures on using the camera, but just look at that sky. Early morning, really nice. And what more could you ask for? And this is quite a pretty little area. More of what I would kind of expect from this kind of trip. Because so far, it's been one mad rush to get from one place to another. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be just plodding about for the next few days. So 4 days of more relaxed riding. So yeah, so we're getting there. This is really pretty.